Greetings, my learners. I'm back again, but unfortunately, this is the end of our topic, of which is weathering. So today we are concluding. We're going to be talking about the conclusion of weathering. So I'm going to be asking you a few questions. I'm going to be talking to you all so that I understand where we are with the topic and ask a few questions so that I can see that you've learned, what I expected you to learn from the topic. I'm going to give you work, so that you can go home and work that we're going to actually record for a year mark. So, in conclusion, can anyone just remind me what weathering is? Just to conclude, just to see that everyone has been like involved in the topic and everyone has actually grown with the topic. What did we learn about weathering? What is weathering? Now, before we get to that, just to save time, I'm going to actually stick to the questions that I planned on asking you today, of which are what causes acid rain. So these are the questions that I planned on focusing on because I saw that a lot of people had trouble trying to understand the causes and effects, because I was going to ask you about weathering, but I realized that people actually understood weathering but did not understand the causes or the cause of what actually led to weathering. So what causes acid rain? Now, in general, let's just speak like quickly so that we can actually wrap up in time. Yes, Mr. Koza. Yes, Mr. Koza. As I said, in general, so that everyone can understand it. Yeah, that is in fact correct. Acid rain can be caused by by human activities, such as like those big chimneys in industries that you see that actually release that actually cause air pollution with the release of the smoke. Yes, so that is partly the aim, or that is partly the cause of acid rain. So moving on, what is the difference between weathering and erosion? Because we have to differentiate between those two. What's the difference there? Now, I'm going to explain this to you for the last time, and I hope you all are going to write it down so that you understand it. Oh, Ms. Nzimande. Ms. Nzimande has actually something to say. Yes, Ms. Nzimande. Of course, yes, like weathering, did you hear what she said? Yeah. And weathering and erosion are two different processes. Now, weathering is whereby the rock is being broken down and it's still static, which means it's still in that space, in that place, in that same place, but it has been broken down. That is weathering. And then erosion is whereby the rock is moved from that area. It can be through wind or rain or water, whatever. But erosion is whereby the rock or the pieces, the smaller pieces of the rock are being moved, are being eroded from their place. So now let's move on to the question, why is weathering called the preparation for erosion? Now, can anyone answer me with this one? Why is it called preparation for erosion? Now, this one just goes back to the second question. It's pretty almost the same, because now when a rock is being broken down, right, it stays in that particular place, and when rain actually comes, that rock, those smaller pieces of rock are going to be moved away from them, because if there are no rocks being broken down, then erosion cannot happen. Really, erosion cannot erode anything. It's erosion because it erodes certain things. So for erosion to happen, weathering must happen. So those are the questions that I wanted to ask you. Those are the questions that I wanted you to answer and understand. And I'm very glad that a lot of you understand. So I'm going to give you an essay question or based on weathering. An essay question, yes, based on weathering and erosion, whereby you have to explain to me the relationship between the two. It's a short essay. I'm just trying to find and understand whether you all understand the point of the whole topic. I thank you. So we're going to continue some other time when I meet you. Thank you.